At 8:12 on Tuesday morning, the project manager looked up at Harmony Lozano and laughed. "Send me somebody strong enough to move the piano." Harmony was a black single mother with 10 years of specialty rigging experience, a powered stair skid beside her, and until the following Wednesday to find the remaining $460 for her daughter's school deposit. She did not need Alan Leonard to respect her. She needed him to sign the condition sheet. Leonard stayed in the foyer, staring at his phone. "Walk the route with me and initial the existing marks," she said. Harmony should have stopped the job. Instead, she documented his refusal, uploaded a video of the route, and made the decision that would nearly cost her career. Harmony had proof. Leonard refused the walkthrough. Her real danger was that she moved the piano anyway. By 5 that afternoon, Leonard was pointing at a 9-inch crack in the marble landing, blaming Harmony for $42,500 in damage and demanding that her employer fire her. Her video showed the crack might already have been there. It also showed that she had continued without his signature. Long before the accusation, Harmony stood on the second-floor service landing of the Astor Street Greystone with her phone held at chest height. She filmed the pale Carrara floor, the carved baseboard, the narrow turn in the staircase, the protective plastic covering the walls, and the doorway where the piano would have to pivot before entering the third-floor library. The footage shook slightly when she stepped backward. Her thumb covered one corner for half a second. It was not polished or cinematic. It showed the route. Harmony lowered the phone and held out the condition sheet. "Mr. Leonard, I need your initials before we bring the load inside." Alan Leonard carried a clipboard even when he had nothing to write. He was in his mid-40s with a gray quarter-zip, expensive work boots, and the practiced impatience of a man accustomed to subcontractors rearranging their day around him. His company, Benjamin Builders Group, managed renovations across the North Side. Hawkins' rigging and moving depended on contractors like his for its most profitable jobs. Leonard had shaken hands with Wayne Hawkins, the company owner. He had not offered one to Harmony. "Your crew has already delayed us," he said. "The crane permit was denied by the city," Harmony replied. "That wasn't our crew." "Then solve it." "The interior route has existing marks. I need them acknowledged." "You need to meet the contract." Harmony looked toward the front windows. Outside, Wayne was arguing with a city inspector about the truck's liftgate extending into a protected bike lane. The crane scheduled to lift the piano through the library windows had been removed from the plan less than an hour earlier. The next permit slot was 3 weeks away. Benjamin Builders had warned Wayne that another delay could trigger a completion penalty. Hawkins Rigging was a third-generation West Side company. It had survived recessions, warehouse closures, and one winter when 3 trucks failed within the same week. It did not survive by casually walking away from large contracts. Harmony looked again at the blank signature line. At home, beneath a pizza-shaped magnet on her refrigerator, was an acceptance letter from Ridgeline Preparatory Academy. Her 10-year-old daughter, Lila, had tested into its STEM program. The scholarship covered tuition, but not the $1,200 enrollment deposit. Harmony had saved $740. The specialty rate and overtime from the Astor job would cover the difference. She wrote, "Client representative declined walkthrough," beneath the empty signature line. Then she photographed the form and uploaded it with the route video to Hawkins Rigging's cloud folder. The upload completed at 8:19. Harmony slipped the phone into her pocket. "Let's set the equipment." The piano belonged to Frederick McMillan, the owner of the house. He had built McMillan Freight Systems into a national logistics company and had spent years paying other people to choose almost everything around him. Designers had selected the furniture, consultants had selected the art. The 1920s rosewood upright was different. It had belonged to his mother and had spent 3 decades in storage before Frederick finally arranged to have it restored. He wanted it placed in the library without touching the finished walls or the Carrara landing. The service staircase was 34 inches wide at its tightest point. Its inner curve left no room for two carriers to stand beside the piano. A normal four-person carry would not work. That did not mean Harmony intended to lift 480 pounds with her back and hands. She positioned a powered stair skid beneath the wrapped piano and locked its tracks. A rated safety line ran to a portable anchor plate secured above the next turn. Gregory, the younger crewman, would watch the lower clearances. Wayne would control the secondary line from above when the city inspector allowed him back inside. Harmony would operate the load. She would control the skid, adjust the straps, guide the piano through the turns, and decide when it moved. Leonard watched her inspect the locking pins. "Your contract says heavy specialty," he called to Wayne. "Why am I looking at her?" Wayne glanced over. "You're looking at my best rigger. I'm looking at a liability claim." Two painters near the rear doorway heard him. Leonard made sure of it. "That piano is 100 years old. This house is nearly as old. Put her back on the truck and get me somebody built for the job." Harmony continued fastening the protective blanket. She had heard variations of the same sentence in theaters, hotels, freight elevators, private homes, and loading docks. A woman could calculate force, inspect an anchor, choose the correct machine, and document every surface. Some men would still evaluate her by the width of her shoulders. She checked the straps again. The move was scheduled to begin after lunch. Shortly before noon, Gregory's right wrist gave out while the crew repositioned a marble-top console in the parlor. An old tendon injury caught at the wrong angle. He nearly lost his side before Harmony stepped in and took the weight. Wayne wrapped Gregory's wrist and removed him from carrying duties. "You spot only," Wayne said. "No lifting." Gregory protested once, then stopped when the pain returned. That left him watching the baseboard clearances, Wayne moving between the upper landing and the city inspector, and Harmony controlling the piano. She attached an old ratchet strap to the rated system. The wooden handle had the initials WL burned into it. Walter Lozano, Harmony's father, had spent 31 years rigging scenery and lighting above Chicago stages. He had taught her to respect weight before he taught her to drive. "Where does the weight want to go?" he used to ask. "Down." "And what's your job?" "Give it a safe way to get there." Harmony pressed the stair skid control. The piano advanced 6 inches. She stopped it, checked the line, reset one pad, and shifted the nose through the first curve. Gregory watched the lower edge. 2 inches at the baseboard. Wayne took tension from above. Harmony moved the piano again. The operation was slow enough that, from a distance, it barely seemed to move. By the time Frederick McMillan returned at 3:15, he expected to hear shouting from the rear staircase. He came through the service hall with his chief of staff, Elena Roach, and stopped on the third-floor landing. Below them, Harmony stood between the wrapped piano and the wall. One hand held the control. The other steadied the protected edge as the skid climbed. Gregory called clearances from below. Wayne watched the safety line from above. Nothing moved until Harmony decided it was ready. "Hold," she said. The machine stopped. Harmony adjusted a pad by less than an inch. "Take 2. The piano climbed another step. Frederick had spent much of his adult life watching people perform confidence for him. Harmony did not know who he was. She was not looking toward the landing. She was listening to the machine, the line, and Gregory's measurements. At 3:41, the piano crossed the library threshold. Harmony leveled the skid, placed the piano on its restored casters, and removed the protective wrap. There were no marks on the walls. Frederick stepped closer. That was remarkable. Harmony looked up, breathing hard. It was controlled. Then she returned downstairs to collect the equipment. At 4:50, while Gregory and Wayne loaded pads into the truck, Leonard crouched on the second-floor landing. He held his phone close to the Carrara. He took 3 photographs, then he stood and called toward the front door. "Wayne, we have a problem." The crack began at the baseboard and extended 9 inches into the landing. It was thin, dark, and slightly hooked near the center. Leonard pointed at it. "That was not here this morning. Wayne crouched beside the fracture. The piano never rested on this slab. It passed over the landing, on a tracked skid with floor protection. Leonard turned toward Harmony, and your operator proceeded without a signed condition report. Harmony felt the blank signature line return to the center of the room. She had recorded Leonard's refusal. She had written it on the form. She had uploaded the evidence before the move. She had also continued. Leonard saw her expression. "I want your insurance information tonight," he said. "No one from Hawkins gets paid until this is resolved." Harmony's second job began at 7 that evening. 3 nights a week after the moving truck returned to the yard, she cleaned law offices on Wacker Drive. She emptied trash beneath framed degrees, wiped fingerprints from glass conference rooms, and pushed a supply cart past windows that turned the city into rows of light. Her hands began shaking halfway through the shift. She blamed the long piano move and the hours of tension in her forearms. She did not let herself call it fear. Harmony reached home at 11:37. Susanna Cooper, a retired nurse from 2 doors down, was asleep on the couch with Lila's math workbook open across her lap. Harmony paid her $60 a week to stay with Lila on cleaning nights. Susanna often remained later than the arrangement required and never mentioned it when Harmony paid a few days late. Lila stood in the bedroom doorway wearing an old Bull shirt. She held the Ridgeline letter. "Next Wednesday," she said. "I know. You said today was the overtime job." It was. Lila watched her mother place her keys on the table. "Did something happen?" "The client found damage after we finished. They're deciding where it came from." "Did you cause it?" "No." Harmony answered without hesitation. Lila relaxed slightly. Harmony wished the rest of the situation were as simple. The next morning, Wayne called while Harmony braided Lila's hair for school. Leonard had filed the claim before midnight. The replacement estimate was $42,500, prepared by Kestrel Stone Restoration. Benjamin Builders was withholding the entire $9,400 Astor payment until the dispute was resolved. Leonard had also recommended removing Hawkins' rigging from the contractor's approved vendor list. Wayne stopped speaking. "What else?" Harmony asked. "He says I used an unqualified operator and ignored site control procedures. He wants you terminated before he'll discuss releasing the funds." Harmony kept working on the braid because Lila was sitting between her knees. "The piano never touched that slab." "I know. You saw the floor protection." "I know that too." Wayne's voice became quieter. "But our procedure says no signature, no move." Harmony tied off the braid. "I documented his refusal. That helps us prove he lied about cooperating. It doesn't change what you did after he refused." "No. Payroll is Friday. Without the Astor money, I can cover base hours or the specialty hours and overtime. I can't cover both." Harmony looked at the calendar taped beside the refrigerator. Ridgeline's deposit was due the following Wednesday. "Pay everyone's base hours," she said. "Your overtime is in the specialty portion." "I know." When the call ended, Lila turned around. "Does this have to do with my school money?" "It has to do with work." "That wasn't what I asked." Harmony put the comb on the table. "The overtime may be late." "How late?" "I don't know." Lila nodded as though she understood. The way she avoided looking at the Ridgeline letter told Harmony that she understood too much. Across the city, Frederick learned about the claim from Elena. They stood in the library beside his mother's piano. Elena held a tablet containing the remaining construction issues. "Leonard filed a Carrara damage claim against the moving company," she said. $42,500. Frederick looked toward the service staircase. "The crew that moved the piano?" "Yes. I watched them. There was no impact." "You watched part of the operation." "I watched enough to know the woman controlling it knew what she was doing." "That is relevant witness information," Elena replied. "It is not a complete investigation." Frederick reached for his phone. Elena looked at him. Do not call the employee and offer to fix this with money. I wasn't going to. You were holding the phone. He set it back on the desk. What can I do? Preserve every project record. Give truthful statements about what you personally saw. Do not decide the result because you own the house. That night, Harmony sat on the edge of her bed after Lila fell asleep and reviewed every image from the Astor job. She had photographs of the piano before loading, after unloading, and at every difficult turn. She had images of the wall protection, the skid, the anchor plate, and the landing. At 8:09, 3 minutes before the route video, she had taken a picture while measuring the pivot. The camera had focused on the baseboard. The marble was slightly blurred. Along the lower edge of the image, a thin, dark line appeared where Leonard later photographed the crack. Harmony enlarged it until the pixels separated. The line was there, or something was. She opened the route video. At 8:12, morning light crossed the same section of marble. For less than 2 seconds, a narrow mark appeared near the wall. Then, Leonard's voice entered the recording. We don't have time for a walkthrough. Just get it up there. Harmony replayed the clip. The recording proved he had refused the inspection he later claimed she skipped. It might also show the crack. The image was not clear enough to establish its exact length. Gregory had filmed from closer to the landing. Harmony remembered seeing his phone in his hand before the move. At 11:58, she texted him, I need the original Astor route video from your phone. Please don't send a screen recording. Share the original file or cloud folder. 19 minutes passed. Then his reply appeared. Can't be involved. Leonard offered me a site supervisor job. Benefits. I need time to think. Harmony read the message twice. Gregory's injured wrist might keep him off moving crews for months. Hawkins could not pay him indefinitely if he could not carry. Leonard had offered him a way out at exactly the right moment. The formal claim package arrived Thursday morning. Leonard's written account was polished, detailed, and false. He stated that he had personally conducted a morning walkthrough at approximately 8, found the service landing in pristine condition, and discovered new damage after the piano transport. He acknowledged that his signature was missing from the condition sheet, but argued that Harmony had assumed responsibility by proceeding. Wayne read the letter in the yard office while Harmony stood beside an old filing cabinet. She played the recording of Leonard refusing the walkthrough. Wayne listened once, then again. That destroys his claim that he inspected it with us. It also shows something on the marble. Something, Wayne repeated. But the insurer will ask whether the file is original. Then they'll ask whether the move made the crack worse. Harmony placed her 8:09 photograph beside Leonard's afternoon image. Inside the line in both pictures was a faint amber color. Polish settled inside the fracture, she said. That didn't happen in a few hours. A stone expert might agree. We still need an expert. Wayne leaned back. And the carrier will still ask why my most experienced rigger moved without the signature. Harmony did not defend the choice. I should have stopped. Yes, Wayne said. He did not raise his voice. That made the answer harder to hear. Then he pushed the claim package toward her. Leonard lied. Your procedure violation doesn't make his version true. We have 8 days to respond. Tell me what you need. Harmony went to Gregory's apartment Thursday evening, carrying a bag of tamales. He lived in a third-floor walk-up in Pilsen. His wrist was secured in a brace. Unopened envelopes covered one end of the kitchen table, and an incomplete temporary disability application sat beside them. $68,000, Gregory said when Harmony mentioned Leonard's offer. Health insurance, site supervisor. I wouldn't have to carry. Did he ask you for the video? He said there was no reason to complicate a routine insurance claim. So he knows you have it. Gregory looked toward the refrigerator. A photograph of his younger brother in a graduation gown was held up by an auto parts magnet. He knows the wrist could end me, Gregory said. He said every major contractor on the north side calls him before hiring supervisors. Did he threaten you? Not directly. He didn't have to. Gregory looked at her. What are you asking me to do? Keep the original file. Don't edit it. Don't delete his messages. And then, you decide. His expression hardened. That's easy for you to say. It isn't your rent. Harmony set the food on the counter. You're right. Gregory had expected an argument. Harmony continued. I moved without a signature because I needed the overtime and because Wayne needed the contract. I told myself the recording protected us. That decision is already hurting everyone. She picked up her coat. I'm not going to pretend choices are free because I need something from you. Keep the file. Keep the messages. Then decide what you can live with. Friday's payroll was short. Wayne covered everyone's base hours. The specialty rate and overtime remained frozen. Harmony lost $780 she had already included in her school deposit plan. She added another office cleaning shift and recalculated the numbers on the back of a grocery receipt. On Saturday morning, Lila found the receipt beside the toaster. She disappeared into the bedroom and returned with a mason jar filled with birthday bills, coins, and the $5 Susanna had paid her for fixing a television remote. Take it, Lila said. Harmony shook her head. There's $61. I know. That's your money. The school is for me. You're keeping it. Lila's face tightened. You always say we're a team until I try to help. You are 10. And you're working 2 jobs because of me. I'm working because I'm your mother. That doesn't make it free. Lila pulled the jar back. Coin struck the glass. Maybe I don't even want to go to Ridgeline. She went into the bedroom and closed the door. Harmony remained at the table with the grocery receipt beneath her hand. She knew Lila wanted the school. She also understood that the child had begun to see every extra shift and late-night phone call as a cost attached to her own future. That afternoon, Lila came out carrying a form from her public school counselor. The top read, Ridgeline Family Access Request. Ms. Johnson said the school has a fund for enrollment problems, Lila said. She said it isn't guaranteed. Harmony read the instructions. The request required income verification and a counselor recommendation. Decisions normally took up to 2 weeks. The deposit is due Wednesday, Harmony said. I know. Harmony signed the income section and attached copies of her pay stubs. We submit it, she said, but we don't count on it. Lila placed the form carefully inside her backpack. Later that day, Wayne called Harmony to the yard. He had spoken with Stan Kowalski, whose moving company had closed the previous winter. On a renovation in Lincoln Park, Leonard had accused Kowalski's crew of damaging a limestone mantle. The remediation estimate had come from Kestrel Stone Restoration. Kowalski's insurer settled instead of fighting. His premiums rose. Benjamin Builders removed him from its approved list. The loss did not destroy his company by itself, but it helped finish one that was already struggling. Kowalski had no pre-job photographs. One old dispute doesn't prove a scheme, Wayne said. No, Harmony replied, but it gives us another file name. The formal back charge notice arrived Monday morning. Hawkins Rigging had 10 days to accept responsibility or dispute the full $42,500. An hour later, Leonard called. Wayne placed him on speaker. Leonard sounded calm and reasonable. He said construction claims were rarely simple. The marble might have contained a pre-existing weakness, but Hawkins had proceeded without a completed condition acknowledgement while moving an unusually heavy object. From his perspective, responsibility was shared. He offered to reduce the charge to $15,000, keep Hawkins on the vendor list, and release the remaining project payment under 2 conditions. Wayne had to sign an acceptance of responsibility. Harmony had to be removed from fine finish assignments. I'm not asking you to ruin her, Leonard said. I'm asking you to manage risk. She made a procedural decision. We all know that. The offer was dangerous because one part of it was true. Wayne ended the call without accepting. He looked at the trucks parked beyond the office window. I have 4 families on payroll. If I accept 15, I can borrow against a truck. If we fight and lose 42, the carrier may drop us. Harmony looked at her father's old strap hanging beside the office door. I should have shut the job down. Wayne nodded. If you had, Benjamin might have blamed us for the delay. Maybe. You were trying to protect the company. I was also trying to protect my overtime. Yes. Harmony opened the claim package. The first issue was whether Leonard lied about the condition of the floor. The second was whether Harmony's operation had widened an existing fracture. They needed to answer both. Give me 48 hours, she said. For what? Original video, independent authentication, a stone assessment, and a project record from before we arrived. We don't have access to Benjamin's project system. The homeowner does. Wayne gave her a cautious look. You're going to ask McMillan to investigate his own house? No, I'm going to ask him to open the records to people who can. Frederick called Wayne before Harmony contacted him. He provided a written statement describing only what he had personally observed. The piano remained on a protected mechanical skid. The movement was controlled, and he saw no impact or sudden drop during the portion he witnessed. Elena reviewed the wording to keep it factual. Frederick then asked to speak with Harmony. They met at the Hawkins yard on the open loading dock. Wayne and two workers remained within sight. I can cover the claim, Frederick said, or the wages you lost. If you pay the claim, it closes with my company's name attached to it. I can state that I don't believe you caused the damage. The settlement record will still say Hawkins paid. Frederick paused. What would help? Give the carrier, our adjuster, and Hawkins rigging read-only access to the complete Astor Project archive. Daily logs, inspection photographs, punch lists, change requests, deleted file history, everything relevant to the condition of that landing. You want everything? I want the people reviewing the claim to decide what the records prove. Not you, not Leonard, and not me alone. Frederick nodded. I'll authorize it. Preserve the access logs, Harmony said. Do not remove anything, change anything, or tell anyone what to find. Elena, standing several feet away, said, Those were already going to be the conditions. Harmony looked at Frederick. Listen to her. The archive access arrived Monday evening through a secure read-only portal shared with the carrier, the adjuster, and Hawkins rigging. Wayne designated Harmony as Hawkins's claim representative, allowing her to search the records while every login, viewed file, and attempted download remained recorded in the system's access history. Harmony opened the archive after Lila went to bed. Thousands of files appeared. Daily reports, finish schedules, invoices, inspection images, punch lists, subcontractor messages. Her first video showed that Leonard had refused the walkthrough. Gregory's video, if he released it, might show the crack more clearly. Neither would prove that the fracture had remained the same size throughout the move. Harmony searched marble. 412 results. She searched service landing. 43. At 1:14 in the morning, she found an inactive reference in the archive index. Finish punch. Second floor service landing. Hold. The attachment was missing. The activity history showed that Alan Leonard had reviewed the item 18 days before the piano move and changed its status from open to deferred. The note contained 6 words. Existing hairline at wallside Carrara seam. Harmony read it again. The entry did not include a measurement. The photograph was gone. It did not explain why the repair had been delayed, but Leonard had known about the crack before Hawkins rigging entered the house. Harmony copied the file path and sent it to the adjuster through the secure claim portal. Then she wrote one sentence beneath it. Please recover the original attachment from the project host or backup system. Later that same Monday night, Gregory knocked on Harmony's apartment door. He stood in the hallway holding his phone in his left hand. The soft wrist brace had been replaced by a harder black splint. I turned the job down, he said. Harmony opened the door wider, but he stayed in the hall. Leonard called after I texted him no. He said Hawkins wouldn't exist in 6 months, and I'd remember that he tried to help. Did you save the call? No, I saved the texts. Gregory opened a cloud folder. The original Astor video was there. It had been recorded at 8:12:44 on the morning of the move, while Harmony filmed the wider route. Gregory had stood less than 3 feet from the landing. The crack was visible from the baseboard to its tapered end. Amber residue sat inside the line. Leonard's voice could be heard in the background, refusing the walkthrough. The file had uploaded automatically at 8:19. Harmony felt relief, then forced herself to slow down. "Do not send it through text or email," she said. "Share the original cloud folder with the adjuster. They need the upload history." Gregory nodded. Lila stood in the bedroom doorway. "Is that the video that fixes everything?" "It proves more than mine did," Harmony said. "And then you get paid?" "I hope so." Lila looked at Gregory. "I thought grown-ups knew when something was finished." Gregory glanced at Harmony. "So did I." On Tuesday morning, Harmony assembled the response package at the public library. It included her route video, Gregory's original recording and cloud history, her 8:09 photograph, Leonard's written claim that he had conducted a morning walkthrough, Frederick's witness statement, Gregory's account of Leonard's job offer, Wayne's description of the stair skid, safety lines, floor protection, and the fact that the piano had never rested directly on the marble. The insurer assigned a digital examiner and a stone consultant. Wayne requested an expedited preliminary review. The result arrived late Tuesday afternoon. The examiner found no obvious sign that the videos had been edited. The server history supported an upload at 8:19 on the morning of the move. A full authentication, however, required the original phones, account records, file hashes, and confirmation from the cloud provider. The stone consultant agreed that residue inside the fracture suggested age. He also explained that a pre-existing crack could widen under vibration or concentrated pressure. Without a verified earlier measurement, he could not determine whether the piano operation had changed it. The adjuster's conclusion was brief. The evidence strongly contradicted Leonard's statement that the landing was pristine that morning. It did not yet eliminate the possibility that Hawkins' rigging had worsened an existing defect after proceeding without completed site acknowledgement. The claim remained open. Benjamin Builders suspended Hawkins from receiving new assignments until the review was complete. Wayne called Harmony into the yard office. 2 crews were loading a warehouse job outside. There was little work scheduled after it. "I have to remove you from active rigging until the carrier finishes," he said. Harmony stared at him. "My insurer is asking whether I knowingly allowed a procedure violation. If I assign you to another specialty job, they'll say I ignored the warning. I'm the reason those jobs finish clean. I know. You need me Thursday. I need coverage on Friday." Wayne placed her company keys on the desk instead of asking her to remove them from her ring. "This is not termination." Harmony looked at the keys. Not yet. Wayne did not correct her. She had prepared herself for Leonard's lie. She had not expected the truth about her own decision to become the strongest argument against her. When Harmony reached the sidewalk, Frederick and Elena were standing beside a dark SUV. Harmony nearly walked past them. "The archive access is active," Frederick said. "Elena already emailed," Harmony replied. "She did. Then why are you here?" Frederick hesitated. "The school deposit. I can cover it as a loan. No connection to the claim." Harmony thought of Lila's mason jar and the unsigned condition sheet. Money did not become neutral simply because someone wealthy called it a loan. Not while your house is part of the dispute. Your daughter could lose her place. I know. You are refusing help to protect a process that has already failed you. The process is the only thing that can clear my company's record. If I take money from the owner while his house is part of the review, Leonard will use it. Frederick's jaw tightened. "So your daughter pays for everyone else's integrity?" Harmony looked at him. "My daughter is already paying for my decision. Your check would cover the deposit. It would not correct what I did, and it would not clear the claim." She walked away. At home, Lila sat at the kitchen table with the Ridgeline letter folded in half. Susanna touched Harmony's shoulder on her way out and did not ask about that week's payment. Harmony sat across from her daughter. The claim is still open. Lila looked down. Mr. Hawkins took me off jobs until they finish. Did the rich man offer the money again? Yes. You said no. Yes. Lila pushed back from the table. That isn't fair. No, it isn't. I mean you. Harmony stayed quiet. You got to decide that taking his money was wrong. I didn't get to decide if losing school was worth it. The words were not carefully phrased. They were angry and frightened. Harmony let them remain between them. You're right, she said. Lila blinked. I made the decision for both of us. I believed taking his money could damage the case, but the cost still lands on you. Then take it. I can't while the claim is open. So I don't go? The counselor submitted the access request. We're waiting. They said it could take 2 weeks. I know. And the deadline is Wednesday. I know. Lila's eyes filled. Harmony reached across the table, but Lila pulled her hands away. I don't need another lesson, she said. Then she went into the bedroom. Harmony reopened the Astor archive. The video showed the crack before the move. The deleted punch note showed Leonard knew about it. She still needed an independent record proving that the fracture had not changed. At 12:46 a.m. Wednesday, the project host responded to the adjuster. The deleted attachment was not available in the live archive. It was preserved in a nightly backup. At 7:03 Wednesday morning, Harmony called the insurance adjuster. By 8, Gregory had agreed to surrender his phone for forensic imaging. Harmony surrendered hers as well. The examiner generated hashes from the original files, obtained account logs from the cloud provider, and confirmed that neither recording had been modified after its 8/19 upload. At 9, Elena connected the examiner with the company hosting the Astor project system. The missing attachment was recovered from the backup. It was a high-resolution site photograph taken 18 days before the piano move. A measurement scale had been placed beside the crack. 9 inches from the baseboard to the tapered end, the same slight hook near the center, the same narrow branch close to the wall. The fracture pattern matched Gregory's video and Leonard's afternoon photographs. Beneath the image was a remediation recommendation from the marble subcontractor: stabilize or replace prior to furniture delivery. Leonard had changed the item to deferred. His comment read, owner turnover priority. Address after major moves. He had known about the damage. He had delayed the repair. Then he described the landing as pristine and attempted to charge the moving company for replacing it. Harmony sent the recovered record directly to the adjuster. She did not save a personal copy. The Stone consultant compared the archived photograph, the morning video, and Leonard's afternoon images. The length, branch points, and terminal shape were unchanged. His supplemental opinion was careful but direct. There was no visible evidence that the piano operation had widened the fracture. The digital examiner completed the authentication at 10:26. Both original videos had been created on the devices that morning. Both reached the cloud system at 8:19. Neither had been altered. The recovered project photograph had been stored in the backup before Hawkins' rigging was assigned to the move. The claim could now be decided using records outside Harmony's control. The school deposit was due at noon. At 11:42, Harmony stood inside the Ridgeline admissions office with Lila beside her. Between savings and the base pay Wayne had released, Harmony had $801 available. The full deposit was $1,200. The registrar had already explained that the next family on the waiting list would receive the seat at noon unless the balance was paid or the access request was approved. Lila stared through a glass wall toward the STEM lab. Several students stood around a robotic arm. I said I didn't want to go, she murmured. I know. I was lying. I know. Harmony crouched in front of her. I'm sorry. For not taking Mr. McMillan's money? For making the original work decision because I was afraid. For acting like proving Leonard wrong would erase what that decision cost you. The clock behind the registrar changed to 11:51. The inner office door opened. A staff member entered carrying a printed approval. Ms. Lozano, the scholarship committee approved $600 from Ridgeline's Family Access Fund. Your income verification and Lila's counselor recommendation were reviewed this morning. Lila looked at the woman. The school's money? The fund is supported by the school and its alumni. It has existed for 9 years. Harmony looked at Lila. You submitted everything? Ms. Johnson helped me. The assistance covered $600. Harmony paid the remaining $600 from her savings. The registrar issued the receipt at 11:56. Outside, Lila folded the paper and handed it to her mother. I didn't tell you how much Ms. Johnson was helping because I thought you'd say we shouldn't ask. I might have said that. It isn't charity. No, Harmony said. It's a program designed for exactly this. Lila studied her face. Are you going to start acting normal about help? I'm going to try. Her phone rang before Lila could answer. The full claim review was scheduled for 4 that afternoon. Benjamin Builders had added its founder, legal counsel, and risk director. Leonard would attend with his records. The insurer's examiner and Stone consultant would present their findings. Frederick and Elena would attend as the owner's representatives and custodians of the project archive. Wayne picked Harmony up outside the school. When she entered the truck, he returned her company keys. The adjuster says the evidence clears the operation. Then why are we meeting? Clearing us is one decision. Determining what Leonard did is another. Wayne noticed the Ridgeline receipt. She got the seat? The Access Fund approved part of it. You paid the rest? Yes. Wayne started the truck. Harmony looked at the keys in her palm. I'm not back yet. Not until the meeting ends. At 3:55, they entered the Benjamin Builders conference room overlooking the river. Alan Leonard sat beside company counsel. He did not look relaxed. He did look prepared. The evidence had narrowed around him, and experienced managers rarely survived by entering a meeting without a new version of events. Howard Benjamin, the company's founder, called the meeting to order. Leonard did not begin by insulting Harmony. He began by admitting that the crack might have existed before the move. My concern has always been whether the operation worsened a pre-existing weakness after the crew proceeded without the required acknowledgement, he said. Subcontractors carry insurance because responsibility is not always clear at the end of a workday. It was a stronger defense than the one in his original claim. It also abandoned the statement that the marble had been pristine. Leonard looked directly at Harmony. Before this becomes a discussion of my judgment, perhaps Ms. Lozano should explain why an experienced rigger ignored her own procedure. Everyone at the table turned toward her. Harmony opened her folder. Because I believed stopping the move could cost my employer the contract and cost me overtime I needed from my daughter, she said. It was the wrong decision. Documenting Mr. Leonard's refusal did not give me permission to continue. Leonard leaned back. He had expected her to deny responsibility for anything. Harmony continued. My mistake is in the record. So is his. Mine did not create or enlarge that crack. His became a $42,500 claim against people he knew had not caused the damage. She connected her laptop to the conference room display. Let's separate the two. The insurer's digital examiner summarized his findings first. Harmony's root video and Gregory's closer recording had been created on their phones that morning, uploaded to the cloud at 8:19 and left unaltered. Harmony played Gregory's original footage. The service landing filled the screen. The 9-inch crack was clearly visible. A few seconds later, Leonard's recorded voice could be heard. We don't have time for a walkthrough. Just get it up there. Harmony placed his claim letter beside the video transcript. You wrote that you personally conducted a morning walkthrough and found the landing in pristine condition. Leonard glanced at his attorney. The wording was imprecise. I inspected the area during the construction schedule. Then you did not inspect it with our crew that morning. I did not say I walked it with your crew. Harmony highlighted the relevant sentence in his signed claim. Leonard stopped speaking. He recovered quickly. A pre-existing crack does not establish whether a 480-pound piano made it worse. That is correct, Harmony said. The recovered project photograph appeared on the display. The image had been taken 18 days before the move. A scale beside the fracture showed a length of 9 inches. Elena confirmed that the photograph and punch item came from the Astor Project archive and had been recovered by the system host from a backup preserved before Hawkins received the assignment. The Stone consultant placed the archived image beside Gregory's morning recording and Leonard's afternoon photograph. The endpoints matched, the central hook matched, the small branch near the baseboard matched. The fracture pattern appears materially unchanged, the consultant said. I find no visible propagation attributable to the piano operation. Harmony displayed the original punch note, existing hairline at wall-side Carrara seam, then the marble subcontractor's recommendation. Stabilize or replace prior to furniture delivery. Finally, Leonard's status change. Deferred. Owner turnover. Priority. Address after major moves. Howard Benjamin read the record silently. Leonard folded his hands. Finish repairs are often delayed until after deliveries. That is standard sequencing. It can be, the risk director said. It does not support describing the slab as pristine. I relied on the condition reported to me at the end of the move. Elena spoke for the first time. You were the reviewer who deferred the repair. The system records your account. Frederick remained silent. Leonard did not confess. He argued that the claim had been prepared quickly to preserve insurance rights. He said the company was required to assign potential responsibility before every technical question had been resolved. Wayne slid Leonard's settlement offer across the table. The agreement required Hawkins to accept responsibility, sign a non-disclosure clause, and remove Harmony from fine finish work in exchange for a reduced charge. Howard Benjamin read it. Why was Ms. Lozano's removal a condition of settling a marble claim? She demonstrated poor judgment. So did you, Benjamin replied. Your employment was not listed as a settlement term. No one spoke for several seconds. The insurance adjuster closed her laptop. Based on the authenticated pre-move recordings, the archived measurement, and the unchanged fracture pattern, the carrier denies the allegation against Hawkins' rigging. We recommend immediate withdrawal of the back charge and release of all withheld funds. Howard Benjamin nodded. The claim is withdrawn effective immediately. Hawkins' rigging is restored to the approved vendor list. The Astor payment and contract interest will be released today. He turned to Wayne. You will receive written confirmation before you leave. Then he looked at Harmony. Your decision to proceed without a signature remains a matter for your employer and insurer. It does not make you responsible for damage you did not cause. Benjamin Builders should not have treated those issues as the same thing. Harmony accepted the apology without responding for him. Benjamin turned toward Leonard. You are suspended pending an independent review of the Astor records, the Kestrel relationship, and previous disputed damage claims. Surrender your system credentials before leaving. For the first time, Leonard's expression changed. The review would later examine several earlier claims, including the one involving Kowalski's company. Harmony did not need those cases to be resolved before hers could be cleared. Her proof rested on 3 things: the original morning recordings, independent authentication, Leonard's own project record. Leonard gathered his papers. At the door, he looked back at Harmony. All this over a mover. A rigger, she said. Get the trade right. He left. Wayne's phone vibrated before the elevator reached the lobby. The Astor payment had been released. He looked at Harmony. You're back on Thursday's job. Under the old rule? No, we change it today. No signed acknowledgement, no move. I don't care if the customer owns the building, the block, or half the city. No exceptions, Harmony said. No exceptions. The money reached the Hawkins account the following morning. Wayne paid the frozen specialty hours and overtime first. Harmony replaced the savings she had used for Ridgeline and returned Lila's $61 to the mason jar. Lila counted it. You put in 81. Interest. That's too much interest. You can file a complaint with accounting. Lila laughed. It was the first time Harmony had heard the sound all week. 4 months later, Harmony applied to the Chicago Trades Futures Alliance's Journeyman to Owner program. The program had trained electricians, welders, carpenters, and equipment operators for 6 years. Each class accepted 12 people. Harmony submitted 10 years of work records, her partial engineering transcript, her insurance history, and Wayne's recommendation. She was accepted into the next cohort. The course lasted 8 months. Harmony studied licensing requirements after cleaning shifts and learned estimating from a retired contractor who rejected her first 3 practice bids. She failed the bonding exam once. She passed it on the second attempt. Lila did not become grateful for every sacrifice simply because the Astor claim ended well. She loved Ridgeline's robotics lab and hated arriving by bus while many classmates stepped out of expensive cars. During her first month, she asked twice whether returning to her old school would make life easier. Harmony did not answer with a speech. She listened, met with Lila's counselor, and let her daughter decide to stay. At Hawkins Rigging, Harmony became stricter about documentation than Wayne had ever been. When a hotel manager refused to sign a condition sheet, Harmony stopped the move and waited 47 minutes for written authorization. The client complained. The crew lost time. Harmony went home irritated. She also went home knowing exactly what the record would show. The following spring, the state of Illinois approved Lozano Rigging, LLC. Harmony's first large subcontract came through a sealed competitive bid. Her first employee was Gregory. His wrist had healed well enough for supervision, planning, and light field work. He read the offer twice. You know, I almost kept quiet. But you didn't. I waited. You still brought the original file. Gregory looked at the starting salary. You trust me after that? I trust records, Harmony said. Your record says you were scared. You considered the offer, and then you did the right thing before it was too late. Their new apartment in Albany Park had 2 bedrooms and morning light in the kitchen. On moving day, a used spinet piano arrived on a Lozano rigging truck. It was lighter than Frederick's upright, but Harmony still used a powered skid, a rated safety line, and 2 adult spotters. Lila stood on the upper landing holding a guide rope with almost no load on it. Harmony checked the anchor. Where does the weight want to go? Down, Lila said. And what do? We give it a safe way to get there. Harmony advanced the skid. Gregory checked the lower clearance. The second spotter held the safety line. Lila kept the guide rope centered until the piano cleared the turn. Then she grinned. They moved it into the apartment one careful step at a time. The record finally carried Harmony's weight. Comment your thoughts and subscribe to Malrick Coleman for more hard-earned justice.